Hi, this is Tassie Pippert. Thank you to Atlantic Union Bank for supporting Tassie's Table. Atlantic Union Bank offers a range of financial solutions for consumers and businesses, including checking, savings, and lending. More about what they have to offer is available at atlanticunionbank.com or at a local branch. Do you ever wonder what to do with all those little bits and pieces of leftovers in your refrigerator? Well, today on Tassie's Table, it's chicken pot pie. Let's use up all those little bits and pieces and make something delicious. So we're gonna start with 3 tablespoons of butter in my pan. And as you can see, I've let it just slightly brown to give a little extra flavor. So about a ½ cup of onion is going in here. Now, let's just stir that a bit. What we're looking for is translucence. So just a little bit of that translucency in the onions lets me know that they're just ready enough to add the next ingredient. So here we've got a little bit of garlic. You can see that that onion is starting to become translucent, and we want to add the garlic quickly. What happens is if you let the garlic get too overdone, it will make everything in your dish bitter. So just a little touch, a little kiss of heat on that garlic. And then we want to add 3 tablespoons of flour, 3 tablespoons of fat, 3 tablespoons of flour. Usually when you're making a roux or a nice thick sauce, that's what you'll find, equal measures. So let's just stir this until all of that flour is no longer white and we know that it's cooking through. Now you can see some bubbling happening on the bottom of the pan. At this point, we're creating what's called a fond. This is all of that flour and that butter, the sugar from the onions, all coming together to really make a flavorful dish. But at this point, we want to deglaze our pan, and we're going to use a little chicken stock for that. About a cup. And let's just stir through. We're just looking for this to come to a little simmer, and you can see it's starting to simmer on the sides and here on the bottom. So now we want to add a little milk, about a ½ cup. Now you can see how quickly this all comes together. Now let's just stir that and let it cook for about a minute until it becomes nice and thick. Now at this point, you can see all those bubbles coming up on the side. The sauce is coating the back of the spatula, and I'm going to add some flavor components. I know we used garlic, but we're going to use a little extra garlic powder, not garlic salt, because we don't want to add too much salt to this, and a little bit of onion powder. And just stir that through. The other flavor component is going to be a little touch of rubbed thyme, just a little pinch, and that's all it takes. If you have fresh thyme, feel free to use it, but I had rubbed thyme in my pantry, so I'm using what I have. And now we're going to put in about a cup of cooked chicken. Now you can use a rotisserie chicken, you can actually even use fried chicken, but pull the crust off of it first and then chop it, or you can use canned chicken. All right, sizzling through, and then a cup of mixed frozen vegetables. Now I like to thaw mine first so they don't hit this all frozen. That way they have more of an opportunity to cook as I'm baking them. Okay, now let's just remove that from the heat. And I just want to give a little taste of this sauce. I'm just going to use the back of my spoon. It has plenty of salt and pepper in it, so I don't need to add a thing. Now at this point, we're going to put it in a little dish and let it bake. So I've got these little dishes that I love to use when I'm cooking for 2. Sometimes I put it in a quart dish, but I really like to have something that's fun when I'm serving a friend. So I want to scoop this into 2 nice little ramekins, and then let's top it off with a little bit of puffed pastry. So here I have a piece of puff pastry that I've just cut to just about the size of the top of my ramekin, and I'm just gonna pop it on the top like that. And then I want to take a little bit of egg wash. Now this is 1 egg and a teaspoon to a tablespoon of water you can use. And you're just going to mix all that together well, and then just give a nice little brushing right there to the top of your pastry. We're gonna bake this at 400 degrees for about 20 minutes, and when it comes out, it's gonna be delicious. Now, our pot pie is out of the oven. It's beautifully golden brown, and we're just gonna top it with a little bit of finely minced parsley to give it a little color, texture, and flavor. Now, who wouldn't want that as a great little leftover meal? I hope you'll enjoy this delicious recipe. So for this one and a lot more, I hope you'll join me often at Tassie's Table.